comedian is Grant Mulitz.
Thanks. Let's give it up for Sam Morrison one more time, everybody. I think that was the best set that we've heard all night. That was the only set we've heard all night, which also makes it the worst set we've heard all night. Don't worry, that's about to change. My name is Grant, and I am a computer science and math double major. So as a math person, I have to do a lot of statistical approximations and calculations and scientific estimations. So I tell people I model. I tried to learn how to play football when I was in high school so I could try out for the varsity team, but the textbook was very unhelpful. I get uncomfortable a lot, like right now, but sometimes when I'm using the stall in a bathroom, an impatient person will knock on the door, and I don't know what to do when that happens. So I'll just shout, "Come in!" Make yourself at home. I'm not going to turn them away, a stranger. It's like when somebody tries to hand me a pamphlet or a flyer or something, and they'll give it to me and I'll say, "Oh no thanks, I just ate." I was at a friend's house over break, and his mom was making this really weird fruit drink. She was on some weird diet. And I walked into their kitchen, and his mom looked at me, she looked up at me from this really loud blender, smiled, and what I heard her say was, "I'm on a Jew cleanse." And being Jewish myself, I was already used to that happening. Remember what Sam said about anti-Semitic Jews? It's funny because it's true. I was at a house party not too long ago, and there was this really pretty girl there, standing across the room, and I didn't quite know how to get her attention, so I just stared at her. And it worked. She came over and talked to me, and the first thing she said to me was, "Why were you staring at me?" And I said, "I wasn't staring at you, I was staring with you." I mentioned I get uncomfortable, right? We did start talking though, and turns out she just got out of a relationship, and she told me she wasn't in the mood for anything serious. And I said, "That's perfect for me. I do comedy." And I asked her if she wanted to have unprotected sex, and she asked why, and I said, "Because life depends on it." So, in related news, if anyone wants to take my virginity, now's your last chance. I feel like now's a good time to bring up the fact that I'm a feminist. Made those last three jokes really hard to write. But I heard this guy say that women should be seen but not heard, and that was offensive. But the only thing I was thinking was I was just wondering whether or not he thought they should also be felt, smelled, or licked. That would be all five senses. And I think the only thing that we can ask from sexist people is closure. I was at a frat party. I was walking by a couple of frats, and there was a guy standing outside this frat, and he had both of his arms around these two girls, okay? And he was talking on the phone to someone inside one of the frats, like with his third arm, I guess. I don't remember how it worked, but maybe one of them was holding it for him. I don't know. But he said something on the phone that was kind of like, yeah, so 2 girls, 1 guy, is that a good ratio? And I took his phone, and I just had to ask this guy, the circumference of a circle divided by its diameter is 3.14, that's pi. Is that a good ratio, man? The dude on the phone was like, no, that's an irrational number. It's not a good ratio at all. And I said, that's fine. I'm an irrational person. Makes sense. You guys are awesome. It's really bright in here. I feel like I'm doing this in a lecture hall. That's my time. I don't quite know how to end this set. So I'm going to ask you, how should I end this set? You have no idea?
No.
All right. What's the most dangerous animal in Africa? Do you know? It's all right. The correct answer is the white man.